Hey YouTube land, Tiger Anders here doing another action figure review. Now this is for a character I know very little about. It's another one of the figures from Spinmasters from their DC Caped Crusader line. And just before I proceed, I just need to say, for the purpose of the FTC or FTA and the COPA rules, is that these video reviews are intended for collectors over the age of 13 plus. If you're below that, get parents' permission to watch the videos, but there you go. So this is for the Mega Gear version of Bronze Tiger. So as far as I know, there's only two versions of this figure, this deluxe Mega Gear version and a regular single carded release version. From what I can tell, looking at the two figures online, there is no difference between the two other than the fact that you get the Mega Gear one, the Mega Gear stuff with this one. The only exception to the Mega Gear stuff seems to have been King Shark, where he got basically his one, he had the regular head release for King Shark as opposed to the Hammerhead version. I think there was a regular release on single card as well, but there was a Hammerhead version as well. And in fact, there seems to be a couple of variations of the King Shark figure, as well as the Killer Croc figure and the Man-Bat figure. There seems to be a white version of Man-Bat, a King Shark with kind of blue paint apps on the hand, on the same for the Hammerhead version, and a clean version of the Hammerhead version. And then with Killer Croc, there seems to be one with green kind of gunk on his hands, green gunk on his face, and kind of plain. And there's a 3-pack version as well. It came with a Batman and a Robin. But that's beside the point. Today is this guy, who I know absolutely nothing about. So, on to his box, which doesn't give much away. And the only reason, I might as well say it now, the only reason I picked this guy up is because I needed to put something else into my order on Amazon to get the free shipping. So this was fairly cheap. And the other thing that I picked up, which hasn't shipped yet, was drastically reduced on the UK website, which is the DC Primal, is it Savage Lands, I think it's called, that Masters of the Universe style DC property. It was basically the Castle Grayskull playset thing for the Batman. It was like a bat cave, so it was reduced to like 14 quid or 14 pounds sterling on the Amazon site. So I need to put something else in with it just to give the get the free postage. I know I probably should have just paid the postage on it, but I saw this guy and I said I'd throw him in. So flipping around the back of the box, it's a fairly standard deluxe box. It's pretty much the exact same as the one that came with the Nightwing set, which I reviewed. It has the name in various languages, has a transforms thing, shows a picture of the figure with the gear on, shows what it does, and that's pretty much it for the box. It's a big window style box packaging, so you can see the action feature set would be here and the figures over here. But onto the figure itself. So figure is nicely sculpted. As I keep saying, I don't know too much about the character. This version seems to be an anthropomorphic style version of the character, i.e. he looks more creature, mutant creature or meta creature style design. From what I briefly read on the wiki, yeah, I went to the wiki for it, his name was Benjamin Turner, and he was basically, he didn't have any meta-human powers or anything like that, but he was an extremely agile and extremely talented martial artist, and he has like a rage or a killer streak in him, and he turned to a life of crime, that kind of thing. But he had a costume, a tiger's-based costume, as opposed to being a tiger, an anthropomorphic style tiger, whereas this one seems to be more along the lines of anthropomorphic style. He has, you can see, he has like actual claws on his hands. He does have a few missing paint apps, and it looks to be the same on the normal release version. This kind of gold brassiere basically just goes around his arm or around his wrist, but it doesn't actually, the paint app is finished at the front of it. It would have been nice if he had the gold all the way around, but you know, them's the breaks. What's interesting about this guy, and I'll do his articulation out of the way before I bring in the old Gimmick relating thing. So he has a swivel in the head. It's a bit tight. He doesn't have anything in the jaw, even though it looks like it's a separate piece. His jaw doesn't open. His arms can go up that much on ratchet joints, rotate all the way around. You can he has a single elbow bend with a swivel. It's just around 90-degree bend. Nothing in the wrist, which is what they normally don't have. And he has leg splits that much. He has forward on the leg and back on the leg. He also has a tail that is on a swivel, so if you want to push it out of the way, you can put it up there. I think it might be a separate piece on the single card release, and he pop it into place. It was on him in this one. He does have a thigh swivel. And one of the interesting things about this guy compared to other figures, which I will bring in a little bit, is he actually has knee articulation. It's not much, but it is there, and it gives him a swivel at the knee as well. Nothing in the ankle. His legs are in this kind of cat-like pose, or creature pose, so you are kind of stuck to that. And then for the Gimmick backpack that he has, it's pretty much the same gimmick as all the rest of these figures, all these deluxe ones, where you clip it onto his back. Oh yeah, there is a peg hole in his back that you put his backpack into. You have handles on a joysticks handles on this part that pops out. You can get his hands onto them. It's a bit of a struggle to get them on, and I generally just leave them resting on it. I don't want to stretch the plastic, but you can get them kind of resting on it. So as I said, with nearly all the other ones, well, especially the ones like King Sharks and Nightwings, fortunately I didn't bring over their backpacks. I brought over just the figures. You basically just flip this and these flip around. Now, one thing that is different between the King Shark one and the Nightwing one is that this piece doesn't flip down automatically. You have to do it yourself, unless it's broken on mine, but I don't see that it has any spring or anything on it for it to do it. So he has this armor up piece, and he has these big giant claws on this thing. It's a cool little contraption. It looks like he stole T'Challa's necklace from Black Panther as well. But what I kind of wish Spinmasters would do on these is just here. I'm not sure if it would be make it more brittle for the engineering purposes, but it would have been nice if these had swivels, so that when you do flip the arm around, you could swivel it forward instead of it being locked into this kind of just down motion. You can't really, I mean, like, if you look at it from the side, his battle claws don't even extend beyond his controller sticks, so like they're pretty small. And even on the back of the box, which is interesting as well, if I just bring back in the back of the box, you can see that they've done some fiddling around with it, where the claw piece is actually up on its own without it bringing down, because they have springs in them. They automatically want to just spring back down into a neutral position. They don't lock or anything, at least I can't see it locking, so there doesn't seem to be any way to lock that. He does stand well enough. Oh, and there is clearance for his tail as well. He does stand well enough with this thing on. His tail really gives him the balance while it's on him, so you have that. And then I'll just pop this off because it's a bit big and contraption-y and gets in the way. But when you're folding it back up, there's these little tabs on the side here that when you press the button, they pop and release. So when you fold these back up, you fold the arms up, you click these into place. These two tabs prevent the arms from dropping down, and that's what you get to hold the arms up, and then they just pop down. Detail wise, it's quite nice. It has a lot of kind of engineering kibble-y stuff on the back of it, but like if you push the arms back without doing that, they just lie flat, and then oops, you can actually just pop them up while it's back. Not a bad thing. I mean, it's mostly gimmick laden, and it's the figure that generally people will go for, because for a while it was the only way to get certain figures, like it was the blue and grey suit Batman. You could only get him that way, but then they released him on his own. Same with the King Shark with the regular head, which is this one. Now, as I said, this is where he differs from King Shark. As you can see, King Shark only has the upper thigh swivel, but he has nothing in the knees, which makes him incredibly top heavy and hard to stand at times. So he will probably flop completely over. The other thing that helped him stand was his backpack. So if I can somehow get him to stand a bit, maybe I have to bring his legs in. Yeah, I have to bring his legs in a bit and make him look a bit awkward. In fact, if I bring him back a bit, you'll be able to see that. His legs kind of stand at an awkward angle for him to stand in. Oh, and just before I bring him in, he does stand a little around 4 1/4 inches tall. So he's taller than the regular 4-inch figures, and he does have the peg holes on the bottom of his feet, just so people can see them. Again, same thing with Man-Bat. His legs are in that same sort of style, animal hind leg sort of pose, and again, he doesn't have anything in the ankle, or not in the ankle, in the knee, and he stands a little top heavy as well, and the only reason he stands up properly is his bat wings hold him up a bit. And for more bad guys, we have Clayface, who is a brick. Is the best way to describe this guy is a brick. It's from the same line. He came with the Bat Cycle set. It was a Batman with Bat Cycle. He is more extremely limited in articulation than the rest of them. I have done a review of this guy, but all he has is swivel for the head, swivel at the waist, ball joint at the arms. That's it. He is very limited on posability. And just to round out the bad guys that I have, I'll bring in Purple Suit Joker. Again, there is several variations of these. There is a black suit version of Joker. There is also a purple suit version of Joker, which has a black shirt. And I think that's it. And then just for the good guys, we've got Batman with these punchy armor things. The Nightwing from that Nightwing set with one of the Batman big guns, because I just chucked it on him. And Damian Wayne Robin. At least I believe that is the design for this guy. And just to show these guys off with a bit more alternate non-Spinmaster figures, if I just move things out of the way while knocking stuff over as always. So there is Bronze Tiger. Here is the 50th anniversary version of Destro, which is also the same figure that the retro line figure of Destro is. And for another tiger style character, here is one of the Warriors of the Animal Kingdom figures. Well, a cat style figure. And let's see if I have anything else. Pretty sure that's all I have close by. But overall, it's a really nice figure. Oh, just bring in one of the Leonard figures as well, so you can see him next to that. This is one of the Aliens collection Leonard figures that are repainted, because I got multiples of the same figure, so I just repainted the face on him just to make him look a little bit of a different character. So you can see the height between some of the more kind of popular lines. You see he does scale quite nicely. Overall, he's a good figure. To be honest, I'd probably just go with the single carded release of the figure if you're fan of the character. The backpack gimmick one really isn't that great to begin with. I mean, it is aimed more for kids, I can understand that, but the design of the figure is quite nice. Could do with a bit more paint apps. I could see customizers going to town on it, especially for like those bracers painting those up, maybe the belt and stuff like that, and straps, giving them a bit more definition. But as always, he is a pretty decent figure, and quite an interesting change up from the standard kind of monster style figures that they done with the added articulation. I hope they kind of continue that trend going forward, and maybe even revisit some of the older figures to give that extra articulation point back into them. Like King Shark would be grateful to have knee joints, and so would probably Killer Croc, as I don't have the Killer Croc figure, but I know he doesn't have the knee joints as well, because he used the same sort of basic leg construction as Man Bat and King Shark. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this quick video review for the Bronze Tiger Mega Gear set. As I said, if you're a fan of the character, probably better off going for the single carded version if you can find it. If you're stuck, then maybe get this one, but maybe wait for clearance prices on it, because it probably will go to clearance prices. I mean, I bought this guy for, well, at the time of this recording, I bought it for about, it was 15 sterling, something along those lines. It wasn't breaking the bank pricey, so it wasn't too expensive. Anything over that would probably be a bit overkill for it. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this quick video review, and as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.